All right, it's time for another Yapathon 3000 about Rust. I made a tweet. This is coming nowhere from a negative space, okay? I just genuinely love Rust right now. I want to play it, but it's been 2 weeks since Force Wipe, and I feel like I've been on one good server, and that was like on Friday. And I just want to play the game. So I made this tweet at Rust and Alistair. Hopefully he replies, because I'm just genuinely curious. I had a question and I have a feedback list of, I don't know, I guess the state of the game. It's just another hJune essay on the Twitter. Kind of wanted to talk about it because I actually feel like I shortened a lot of my points just so I can post it on Twitter, but there's just so much context. So I made this post because I was kind of curious. I was looking at the server list the other day and I was playing on NA 5 p.m. Pacific time, and that's like peak time for Rust, and I think it was like a Saturday or something. The player pop and the player count on Rust keeps growing, but whenever I see the community server list, it's just completely dead. And when I see the official server list, the most pop server was like 400, and then once you go down like 6 servers, it was less than 100 pop for NA. So I was like, what the hell? Is everybody playing modded? And I played on so many monthly servers this wipe, and I just feel like it's so difficult to just play the game like normal. That's kind of what I wrote about here, and I'm just gonna go through them. I asked Alistair, is the game direction still going towards longer wipes? Because I think ever since the beginning of the game, they kind of explained that eventually they want to have like a no wipe Rust. I'm pretty sure I've heard that over the years. I just haven't heard about it recently, so I don't know if the meta or, well, the meta right now is you go on a server for 2 days and then everyone stops like actually playing the game afterwards. There's like Monday servers, there's Friday servers, there's Saturday servers. So I feel like most players nowadays, they just pop on a Monday server, play like 2 days or 1 day and then leave. But I'm just curious about what the devs think is their long-term vision for the game. Is it still no wipes? Because there was that, like, what was that thing called? It was like a bunch of servers linked together and then like you can switch servers if you want. Nexus system, I think, something like that. Nexus system. So I'm still wondering if that's still their vision and what they think about how the monthly servers are now. So whenever I look at the list, the modded is like 80% or 70% of the pop. I was also wondering if they're balancing the game with vanilla in mind still. Because I feel like if you think vanilla and modded as two separate entities, I feel like you can be way more experimental and risky with the things that you change for vanilla. Because there's always going to be modded servers. Like if you want to play PvE, there's going to be modded servers for that. If you want to play 2x, if you want to play like any kind of way, just plugins that can change it. But I feel like the base game, the official vanilla, has to be somewhat balanced. So here's the problems that I faced recently. Recently, I think this is like way worse for a few reasons. So one of the first reasons why I feel like monthly servers after 48 hours of the server time is almost unplayable is turret spam every single place you go. You spawn on the beach, you try to go to outposts, you try to go inland, and a lot of the times you're just gonna find a turret in a bush, beach spawn points. I actually spawned so many times on top of a turret. So people can make turrets right where you spawn, and as soon as you spawn, you die. I think like every wipe I played so far on monthly servers, I had at least one spawn where I just spawned on a turret. They put it on train tracks so you can never use trains. It's outside outposts, it's outside of compounds, it's in bushes, outside of raids, outside of monuments. So if you see like excavator, it could be walled in. If you see sulfur quarry, it's walled in. And I think this really got much worse with the compound bow turret meta. People started using compound bow on turrets because they realized that it does the same amount of damage as bolt. It's silent natively and it uses arrows. So it's just a bunch of stone, a bunch of wood, and they just put like 5 stacks in it and I'll never run out of ammo. One of the most underrated things about using a compound bow is you don't have to craft a gun. You don't need gunpowder. The fact that nobody will even try to break it to snowball is crazy, because if you break the compound bow turret, you're gonna get a compound bow. Like if people use python turrets, they might like shoot it out so they can get a python to snowball, but it won't happen with compound bow. So here are some possible solutions. So when I say possible solutions, it's not everything at once. Like don't apply all of these changes at once. These are just options that they can experiment with that might mitigate the problem. Over the years, I've always seen Facepunch change things very drastically instead of little bit at a time, and I would love to see experimental changes that are incremental. So it could be something like reduce the ammo capacity to a stack, because if you go to any big clans like monthly server compound and you break one of the turrets, you'll see that it has 5 stacks of ammo. So it never runs out. I think you could disallow compound bows and turrets. Maybe they can have the same system as chicken coops, because chicken coops, it knows when you're inside a base and it has like a roof above, or like it's inside your house. Maybe they can use the same inverse system to only allow turrets to operate inside, like maybe inside peaks, the outer rings, compounds, stuff like that. Or I think another better alternative would be to decrease the range of the turret if the laser from the turret is not hitting any target. What that means is if it's facing towards your base and it's hitting the walls with the laser, then it will have the full range. But if it's facing outside into like bushes or like trees or like a train track, then it would have like way less range. It kind of makes sense logically too, because the laser is like constantly scanning whether or not there's players, right? Another problem that you have with monthly servers is the overcrowding of bases, and there's nowhere to build. You could go to launch site, you could go to outside of a mining outpost, and you'll find that, okay, this clan got raided, but all their externals are still there. Or like there's 10 2x1s that's people built over like 10 days, but it's never gonna decay because it has 30 days of upkeep. Also, if you go to places like excavator or outside of people's compounds, people put like 50 tool cupboards outside of their base. So there's no real estate for you to actually make a new base. It's so cramped. Because 1,000 pot doesn't mean 1,000 people. It means thousands of people coming in, making a 2x1, leaving, coming in, making a 2x1 and leaving. It's just too much. Possible solutions to this is kind of going back to how it was before. What used to happen was there was no upkeep at all. So what you had to do, you had to log in every like 2 days or something and open a door. And if you open the door, your base would not decay. And if you didn't open a door for like a few days, your base would start decaying. Back in the day, like this is like 6-7 years ago or something like that. Maybe we can do like a hybrid of that. Do resources upkeep. You could even make it cheaper. You can even make resources cheaper. Maybe have people, if they don't log in for like 48 hours, it starts decaying. And people can argue that this is bad for casuals. I agree. There are multiple people that want to take like 3 to 5 days break and come back later. But I feel like nothing is stopping you, unless you go on vacation or something, to just log in and open your door once and then log out. But I think the upside versus the downside of doing something like this is so much better. The upside is you won't have all these abandoned bases that will remain the entire wipe. I would rather remove that than to think about the like minority of players that might come back after like a 2-week break and enjoy that. There's wins and there's losses, but I would make that trade personally. Another thing, if you were able to reduce the clutter, you can make the maps a lot smaller, because every map nowadays is so big and it's just so hard to find people, or people just never run into each other. Like if you're on a 4.5k map and there's 400 people on it, you might think that you're playing a single player game because everyone's just in their own corner. On that same note, I feel like after 48 hours or even 10 hours for some groups that are really fast, there's no incentive to leave your base after a certain point. Like how many times have you played a wipe where you have a lot of fun on day 1, on day 2, everyone's dead. Everyone's inside their base, everyone's roof camping. They're just waiting for an online raid that's never gonna happen. And they're just watching TikTok until someone makes a raid base. Like they watch all these YouTube videos of like people doing insane raid bases or raid defenses, and they're just waiting for that to happen instead of going out and doing something. But I don't blame them, because they have all the loot that they need and there's no other incentive other than to have fun or like to roam. And I feel like that kind of mindset of like, hey, I'm gonna go outside and PvP and I'm just roaming just to have PvP or just to have player interaction. I feel like that kind of mindset is kind of gone. So what if we replaced or added events that don't reward with loot, but rather it's like fun experiences, or it gives rewards like King of the Hill type events that if you win, like you fight out for like 30 minutes and then it gives like flags that you can put on your base to be like, yo, like we won this event. And then like every wipe, you can try to get like 10 of these. And then people would see on your base, oh shit, these guys won 10 of these events. Like these guys are not to be messed with. I feel like ego and like, I don't know, bragging rights was always huge. And we're kind of losing that. I feel like this game is the most fun when you try to win rather than what it is now, where a lot of players just try to avoid losing. Like it's okay to lose. I feel like the no risk gameplay, it's just very grubby. Another thing that really messes with the gameplay in monthly servers is player shop economy, diesel, and quarries. So this might be a controversial take, but I genuinely think this is a huge problem that not a lot of people will agree with me, and they might not even know how bad this problem is because only a select group of people know exactly how overpowered this is. It's usually one clan that controls Sulfur Quarry or controls HQM Quarry that know how crazy diesel is. I've played Force Wipe before where people were selling tier 2 weapons that they're never gonna use for like 15 scrap, 150 sulfur. Like I even done that myself. But if you're a Zerg that's like raiding everyone around you and you have like boxes of guns, people are selling for so cheap. Like they're selling for like 15 crude, 15 scrap, 150 sulfur, like 1 Thompson for like a diesel, etc. And all you have to do is farm for like 1 minute and go to outpost as a naked, and now you're completely progressed. And I feel like this ruins progression past like 8 hours on the server. It creates this over reliance on safe zones where people will only go to outpost instead of going to a monument and doing the cards or fighting other players or controlling an area in which you can get these guns and fight back. They just go to outpost. And that's also why there's so many turrets in outpost, because everyone knows outpost is where everyone goes to snowball. Because of the drones as well, there's multiple ways that you can transfer loot across the map using drones. And the fact that you don't have to go up to a player shop to buy the items and rather just pay 20 scrap and then just have it delivered to you in a safe zone, I just think that's really unhealthy for the game. And because players can do that safely, you have Zergs, or you have even like small groups. If they have Sulfur Quarry, what they do is they sell guns that they get from raiding. They sell workbenches for diesel, everything for diesel, and then they run it in Sulfur Quarry, which is like protected by a bunch of turrets, and they get thousands and thousands of rockets. You might think I'm making this up, but I personally know a lot of groups that do this every single wipe. They go to Sulfur Quarry and they have thousands of rockets fired per wipe. In like 2 weeks, they fire 2,000 rockets and they don't farm a single sulfur node. It's actually crazy. And they have like 1,000 diesel left over. It's completely crazy. And the fact that you can go to like HQM Quarry or Excavator, it's 1 diesel for like 50 or like 100 high qual. And high qual can be traded for scrap, and scrap can be traded for anything in the game. So you basically have infinite resources. Possible solutions is maybe putting all diesels behind cards, because what people do in high pop servers, they go on top of dome. They go to any monument, like power plant that has like 5 diesel spawns. They just go in naked or like with a hazmat and get 5 diesel, run out. 5 minutes later, get 5 diesel, run out. If it was behind cards, at least there's cooldowns for them, and you can't just go in naked and get them. Like there are people that fly around the map and get like 30 diesel per, I don't know, per like 15 minutes. You go to oil rig, it literally spawns on you. 1 oil rig run on a high pop server can get you 10 plus diesel. And 10 diesel is, am I doing the math right? Isn't that 50,000 metal fragments in Excavator? It's crazy. Diesel should be an extremely rare resource for how strong it is, but it's something you can get naked every single 5 minutes. This is also very controversial. I would say this is a hot take for a lot of the casual player base, so I don't expect them to do it. But if it was up to me, I would love to see the drones being removed from player shops. This is not just because I want people to farm their own guns, but you can still have player shops that sell weapons. I just miss when there was player interaction where people would man their player shops. They would have like entire malls where people have like safe zone turrets, peacekeeper turrets, and there's just like little spots on the map where people would gather. A lot of the times, it's like real life, dude. Like they added social media and no one goes outside to meet each other anymore. They just can DM each other on Discord. Like there's no point in meeting in person anymore. Like that player interaction in such a amazing sandbox survival game, that's what I miss. Like all these things that remove the need to actually meet with other players, it just makes it bad. I think if you play Path of Exile, the reason why GGG doesn't add auction houses is because they want people to go to people's hideouts and do the trades like one-on-one. And sometimes that's more annoying. It's like, man, like why can't I just make a shop and it automates everything for me? But I do get the notion of like, you want people to meet each other, talk to each other, and do trades in person. And I feel like that's way more valuable than just streamlining the game. So you don't have to meet anyone at all. Could experiment with nerfing Excavator and Corey's yield. Right now, 1 diesel gets you like 100 HQM, 5,000 metal. I'm pretty sure it's 10k stone, if I'm not mistaken. I don't actually go to Excavator a lot. Corey's are a little bit less than that, but maybe we can make that faster and just like half the yield that you get. I think that could be a good step in the right direction. It's just too strong right now. You could remove the resource trade shops in safe zone so that you can't just use high quality to get scrap. You can't use scrap to get gloves, to get cloth. You can't use scrap to get gunpowder by buying nades. You can't use scrap to get metal, get stone, get wood, get fuel. You can literally get every single resource just by getting scrap. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like scrap being like the end game, like freaking buy everything safeguard. I don't know. Another thing that's controversial that might be kind of cool is if you allow players to shoot down drones. Like imagine if people can shoot down your drones. Like they see a drone like whiz past, and if they have good aim or they have enough people and they do enough damage, all the shit that you just buy with the drones just falls down. So you would think twice before sending like all your AKs or like all your resources through safe zone trading. Another thing, a lot of the Battlefield players will hate me for this, but this is the most broken thing in the game, in my opinion. So if you remember Horse Gang, it was a big problem. Enough that Face Punch did not allow people to wear heavy armor and heavy horse armor at the same time. But you can still do this on attack helicopters. Attack helicopter is the end game helicopter for you to use to shoot rockets. You can use minigun, you can shoot from it. There's 2 people piloting it, but you can use heavy armor on it. If you use max health T along with heavy armor and like 10 medkits in your hotbar that you can heal while flying it, it's almost impossible to kill these guys unless you have instant ammo ready and you're like level with the attack helicopter and you have shroud level aim and you're tracking these guys down Overwatch style while they're trying to shoot you with HVs that one-shot you. It's so uncounterable to 99% of the players, but that doesn't mean I'm against people or like Zergs or people that stay on the server for like weeks having a better chance in PvP. Like I think that's great. You should be able to grind and have more health by crafting max health Ts. You should have better gear than someone that just started out by maxing out armor slots, farming them in crates, and getting them like maximum amount of protection. You can craft pies to heal faster. I killed a guy in Excavator on a monthly server with a pie that heals him faster, with a max health T, with a heavy pot helmet in his hotbar, AK, full maxed out armor slots, and even an extra pie that gives him max health. Like these guys go crazy on monthly servers, and I think you should do that because you put in the work to have that, right? But I feel like heavy armor and attack helicopters, that's where I draw the line. It actually ruins hella fights, hella raids, because it's just uncounterable. They just barrage rockets at you. You can't wall it because you can't wall through the explosion does splash damage through your walls, so you just get killed. I think the solution for this is very simple. Just don't allow heavy plate and leggings while inside a helicopter. You can still have heavy plate helmet like normal, but I don't think you should have heavy plate and leggings. I also think it's like the ability to use your hotbar to heal in vehicles. I think they should remove that, or at least be more clear on their stance on it. Because when you're driving a vehicle, you can't use meds. You can't have a gun out. So why are you able to use your hotbar to use a med kit or to eat food? It just doesn't make sense. Either make it so that you can drive with one hand and use a syringe, or just make it so that you can't heal at all. Like, just don't be like on the fence about it. Another thing, this is kind of unrelated. I think this applies more to Monday servers. This is my personal experience. I don't know if everyone else has the same experience as me. I don't see a lot of people roaming more than DB and P2 nowadays. Like P2 is 4 a high qual, 1 semi-body, and 1 pipe to make. You don't need a spring. This is 1 road sign and 1 barrel potentially to make a gun that is so accurate and does so much damage. So people just don't bother going out more than a P2 because they know, like, hey, what if other people are DB? What if other people are P2? It's not like I'm fighting an AK guy. Like, why do I have to go more than this? Like, if I shoot someone from behind, they're gonna die anyways. And if I die to a roof camper or something, which is very common, I won't lose much by losing a P2. So especially on Monday servers where they know the server's gonna die in 2 days, everyone just roof camps, they grub, They use P2, they use Ioka, they use water pipes, they use DB. Like, they don't have any incentive to go anything higher than that. I think possible solutions for this, just make the P2 cost a little bit more. Make it cost a spring, or make it cost more HQM. I feel like 8 HQM is probably better. Or maybe instead of 1 pipe, it's 3 pipes. You don't have to do all these changes, but like, I think it should be more than just 4 HQM, 1 semi-body, and 1 pipe. Also, DB, I just feel like DB beats any other shotgun in the game, maybe except N4. Because it's a tier 1, it's only 150 metal and 2 pipes to make, and you can shoot faster than a pump. And why do you need to shoot more than twice to kill anybody? You can use all the ammo on a tier 1 DB, and it goes like boom, boom, when the pump is like boom, boom. So if they just make it like a pump, where there's more of a delay between the first and second shot, I think DB would be a lot more balanced. Because if you miss your first shot, they have a chance to react, instead of like, oh shit, I got shot and I'm already dead. This is kind of a joke. Force every server to wipe on Thursday. I'm a hater of Monday servers. I know this is not feasible. It's kind of a joke. Another thing, entity pollution, extreme lag on these servers. If you look on battle metrics on any monthly server, after 48 hours, it slowly grows to 500,000 entities. Like, you're like walking down a road, and then suddenly you go from 200 FPS to 40. I'm like, what the f? You just rendered a base. There's just so many things that you can add into your base, like lights, cosmetic items, electricity, all these like pipes, all these electrical branches, all these turrets, all these things that like people have to render in. And because bases are massive on these servers, even with a supercomputer with like the latest X3D CPU and like a 1590 Ti or whatever, you still lag. Honestly, there isn't much you can do about this other than make abandoned, like the decay change. One thing they can do, maybe, I don't know if this is possible because I'm not a developer, but what if you can disable non-impactful items, like things that don't really matter on a regular gameplay basis, only to the people that are in the base, like stuff like electrical branches, like rugs, like lights. Do other people really need to see that? Like, what if we were able to turn them off so that it doesn't render at all? Unless you are off on the TC, then you can see it. And you have the option to turn it back on. Let's say you're raiding and you actually want to see those things, then you would turn it back on. But like on a regular gameplay basis, maybe you can turn them off and it would help a lot with the FPS. I don't know if that's possible, but it's just an idea that I threw out there. Community server tab abuse. When's the last time you guys went to the server list and looked at the community server tab? Have you guys looked recently? Let's say there's 100,000 people playing Rust, and you actually look in the server list and you're like, I wonder where these 100,000 players that are playing Rust currently is playing. You check the Steam charts, there's 100,000 people playing. Oh shit, 60,000 people playing modded. You're like, okay, what kind of modded server are these guys playing? 2x? No, 10x, 100x, 1,000,000x, 2,000 people on an aim train server. And I'm like, okay, damn, like modded is running Rust right now. Like most Rust players play modded. Whenever I have like these big essays that I write about the vanilla game, sometimes I see the replies, or like sometimes I see people's takes. I'm like, damn, I wonder if these guys even play vanilla. There are people that play PvE servers. There are people that play solo, duo, trio. There are people that play 1,000,000x servers. People play 2x. There's so many different ways to play the game, but everything I'm saying right now is official vanilla servers. And I feel like people that play official vanilla servers is like 10% of the Rust population now. That's why I kind of asked, like, is FacePunch recognizing that? And are they balancing the game on that 10% that plays the base game? Or are they taking into account of all the modded players that are playing? And back to the community server tab, you look in the official server tab, there's like 15,000 people playing. And the official servers are like Rustoria, Rustified, Rusticated, Rust Spain, like all these very well-known servers that are partnered with FacePunch. But the community server tab, you look and you're like, damn, community servers tabs also has like 8,000 people playing it. I wonder if there's a server I can play. You click on it, you see 10 Chinese servers with exactly the same pop, 300. 10 Russian servers that say 2x on them, 5x on them, and there's in the community vanilla server tab. You click on a server, it says you have 10 ping. Oh shit, this must be located in Vancouver. You log in, you have 350 ping. What is going on? You never have like actual viable servers to play on the community server tab. If there's 8,000 people on the community server tab, 6,000 of that is fake pop. It's bots that don't exist. I really miss the feeling of community servers. And roof campers, put them in jail. Or someone had a really good idea the other day. If you are a known roof camper, you should do like a CAPTCHA where you write down your mother's phone number. And if you keep roof camping, you do like violation 5 times, we call your mom and you're grounded. But yeah, like this is just a list of things that I have just on monthly servers. Like this is like, dude, I can talk for 24 hours straight about Rust. I love this game. I want it to be better. And everything I say here is not like, guys, I'm right. Baseline should listen to me. This is just what I personally find as problems. And I'm curious on whether or not other people are experiencing the same thing as me. But this was my take on monthly servers. If you agree, if you disagree, please comment. I would love to know what your experience is. This is why I made this post, because I genuinely wanted to ask Alistair a question from a good place. But yeah, I'm done yapping.